Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Our today's topic is about saturated hydrocarbons and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Now let's dive in a topic. Saturated hydrocarbons, example alkane, commonly called paraffins. Example propane. In saturated hydrocarbons, all the valencies of carbon are satisfied by forming single covalent bond. Unsaturated hydrocarbons are alkene, commonly called olefin, for example propene, or alkyne, example propyne. In unsaturated hydrocarbons, double bond or triple bond are present between carbon-carbon atom. Now the difference between saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Number 1. Definition. Saturated hydrocarbons. Saturated hydrocarbons are hydrocarbons with only single covalent bonds. Example, branch chain isopentane. In isopentane, 5 carbon atoms are present. All the valencies of carbon atoms are satisfied by forming single covalent bond. Single covalent bonds are present between carbon-carbon atom and carbon-hydrogen atom. Single covalent bond. Example number 2, closed chain or cyclopentane. Example is cyclopentane. In cyclopentane, a ring structure is present. In this ring, all the valencies of carbon are satisfied by forming single covalent bond. Single covalent bond is present between carbon atom and single covalent bond is present between carbon and hydrogen atom. Unsaturated hydrocarbons. Unsaturated hydrocarbons are hydrocarbons with multiple covalent bonds, that is double or triple bonds. For example, alkene. It is pentene, 5 carbon atom present in pentene, and carbon-carbon double bond is present in pentene. It is an example of alkene. Example number 2, pentyne. 5 carbon atom is present in pentyne, and in pentyne, carbon-carbon triple bond is formed. It is an example of alkyne, an unsaturated hydrocarbon. Example number 3, benzene. It is also an unsaturated hydrocarbon. In benzene, alternate double bond are formed. Carbon-carbon double bond, carbon-carbon double bond, and it is also carbon-carbon double bond. Number 2, reactivity. Saturated hydrocarbons. Saturated hydrocarbons are less reactive. For example, halogenation of alkane. In saturated hydrocarbons, all the valencies of carbon are satisfied by forming single covalent bond, so substitution reaction takes place. When it is reacted with halogen in the presence of heat or light, one of the hydrogen is replaced by halo group. When ethane is treated with bromine in the presence of heat or light, bromoethane is formed with the elimination of hydrogen atom. Now, unsaturated hydrocarbons. Unsaturated hydrocarbons are more reactive. For example, in halogenation reaction, When alkene is reacted with halogen, an addition product is formed. It is dihaloalkane. This halogen is added on these carbon atom, which is where double bond is present. It is cyclohexene. When it is reacted with halogen, an addition reaction takes place on these two carbon atoms and 1,2 dihalocyclohexene is formed. Number 3. Burn in air. Saturated hydrocarbons. Burning saturated hydrocarbon results in a blue non-sooty flame. For example, when methane is burned, it gives blue flame. Unsaturated hydrocarbons. Burning unsaturated hydrocarbon results in a yellow sooty flame. Now, amount of carbon and hydrogen. Saturated hydrocarbons. Saturated hydrocarbons have a less amount of carbon and high amount of hydrogen. Unsaturated hydrocarbons. Unsaturated hydrocarbons have a high amount of carbon and less amount of hydrogen. Sources. Saturated hydrocarbons. These are usually obtained from fossilized plants and animal materials. Unsaturated hydrocarbons. These are mainly obtained from plants, that is plant pigments, waxes, proteins, vegetables oils, etc. Hybridization. Saturated hydrocarbons. All carbon atoms are sp3 hybridized in these compounds. Unsaturated hydrocarbons. They contain sp2 or sp hybridized carbons. In alkene, sp2 hybridization is present, and in alkyne, sp hybridization is present. Example. Saturated hydrocarbons. Example includes alkanes and cycloalkanes. Unsaturated hydrocarbons. Example includes alkenes, alkynes and aromatic hydrocarbons. Now, conclusion. The difference between saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons depends on the type of bonds they contain. Saturated hydrocarbons contain only single covalent bonds, whereas unsaturated hydrocarbons contain at least one or more double or triple carbon-carbon bonds. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.